Welcome back to This is Baseball, and congratulations on making it through another Major League Baseball offseason. NFL playoffs are over, Super Bowl is over, and with that, we turn our attention to baseball. And this week, pitchers and catchers are reporting to their spring training camps all across the league, and the rest of the roster will fill out soon. But it's here. We have not had baseball since November 1st when the Dodgers beat the Blue Jays in Game 7. Let's look at when baseball starts. So the first game is a week and a half away. First games are on February 20th. There's going to be 5 matchups on that Friday, and then all 30 teams will play on Saturday the 21st. I want to spend some time talking about the World Baseball Classic. We're going to be heavily focused on that throughout February and March, as the World Baseball Classic is going to start on March 5th. And if you're unfamiliar with the World Baseball Classic, it is baseball's version of the World Cup, and they do it every 3 years. So the last one in 2023, Japan beat the United States. So we are back in 2026 with that. But the official U.S. roster has been released. So I want to look at Team USA and just kind of give you the notable players that are on the roster this year, because the team is stacked. So a couple of pitchers that stuck out to me. You have Paul Skeens from the Pirates. Paul Skeens, the 2-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young Award winner, and ERA title in 2025. He had a 1.97 ERA in 24 and a 1.98 ERA in 2025. He's only been in the league for 2 years, so he is already on a Hall of Fame trajectory and a fantastic addition to Team USA. Another standout pitcher, Tarek Skubal from the Detroit Tigers, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, 2-time All-Star, 2-time ERA title winner, and Triple Crown winner. Triple Crown is very rare in baseball. You have one for offense and you have one for pitching, and in pitching, it is being the leader in wins, earned run average, and strikeouts, which Tarek Skubal won in 2024, along with Chris Sale as well for the Braves. Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal are very easily the 2 best pitchers in baseball. So great representation for Team USA there. A great 1-2 punch. I don't know who's going to be really considered the ace. I'll let Mark DeRosa, who's the manager of Team USA, work that out, because that's going to be a tough decision to make. You really can't go wrong either way, because you do Paul Skeens in Game 1, you're seeing Skubal in Game 2. Flip a coin. They're both not somebody you want to go up against. Let's look at some of the infielders. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be the shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr., 2-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time Silver Slugger. He's won a batting title. He's won Platinum Glove. He's been runner-up for MVP in 2024 behind Aaron Judge. Bryce Harper from the Phillies will be the first baseman. Bryce Harper's 2-time MVP, 8-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, NLCS MVP in 2022 with the Phillies. Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore, won Rookie of the Year in 2023. Been to the All-Star game, won a Silver Slugger. He's actually going to be the second baseman most likely between him and Bryce Turang, because Bobby Witt Jr. is obviously the shortstop. And catching, Kyle Riley, who had one of the greatest seasons ever, or probably the greatest season ever by a catcher in 2025. All-Star last year in Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, Platinum Glove. He hit 60 home runs last season and was runner-up for MVP behind Aaron Judge as well. Speaking of Aaron Judge, he's the captain of Team USA, and Aaron Judge, career accolades, don't need to tell you, but I will. 3-time MVP, 7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner, batting title, and he has won Roberto Clemente Award as well, which is MLB's version of the Walter Payton Award, if you're familiar with that. Pete Crow Armstrong is going to be in the outfield as well. He had kind of a breakout season with the Cubs last year and was a big point of their success. Byron Buxton from the Twins, great defensive player, 2-time All-Star, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, and a Plaque Glove winner. Corbin Carroll was going to be part of Team USA. He was going to be one of the starting outfielders, but unfortunately on Tuesday, he was taking batting practice in spring training and got hit in the hand and broke some bones. So he underwent surgery, and he's not going to be available for the World Baseball Classic anymore, and he is questionable for being available for opening day for the Diamondbacks. The recovery for this, according to Yahoo Sports, is roughly 4 to 6 weeks. So big blow to Team USA and big blow to the Diamondbacks. And weirdly, Corbin Carroll's not the only player to go down with his injury this week alone. Orioles player Jackson Holliday is also out with the exact same injury. So very rough time there. But let's move on to some league transactions that stood out to me this spring. And this one's more fun than anything, but Justin Verlander signed with Detroit. If you know Justin Verlander, he spent most of his career with Detroit before being traded to Houston and then ending up being with the Mets, then going back to Houston, and then spending last season with the San Francisco Giants. He is returning to Detroit. And listen, Justin Verlander, one of the greatest pitchers of his generation. Him, Max Scherzer, and Clayton Kershaw, who recently retired. Justin Verlander is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just looking at what he's done in his career. He was Rookie of the Year in 2006. 9-time All-Star. 3-time Cy Young Award winner. He won an MVP. He won a Triple Crown. He's won 2 World Series. Justin Verlander is great, and he is going to be 43 years old by the time the season starts in 2026. The Detroit Tigers also signed Framber Valdez to be part of their pitching staff as well. So Detroit is looking to gear up and try to actually win the division in 2026 and not kind of fall short and fall flat like they did last season, having Tarek Skubal, who just came off of a historic arbitration win, got $32 million in arbitration versus the Detroit Tigers' $19 million. So good for him, but Detroit's putting together a pretty good pitching staff. Valdez has a career 3.66 ERA. He averages just under 200 innings pitched per year and is going to throw a lot of strikeouts in Detroit. And let's talk about the big trade that happened earlier this February. So Brendan Donovan, who's a great utility player for the St. Louis Cardinals, really good offensive bat as well. Cardinals have been trying to move him. The Cardinals have been in the middle of a rebuild and been looking for a new home for Brendan Donovan, along with a few other players as well, if you've been following what their offseason has looked like under Kyle Bloom. But they finally made a deal with the Mariners. It was actually a 3-team deal between the Cardinals, Mariners, and Rays. But the Mariners acquired Brendan Donovan to really fill out their lineup. The Mariners have a really stacked roster. They are really setting themselves up to be AL West champions and maybe make a run to the World Series. But so Mariners got Brendan Donovan. Cardinals acquired 3 prospects from the Rays and Mariners, and they received some competitive balance draft picks as well. The number 68 overall pick from the Mariners, and the number 72 overall pick from the Rays. So they have added to their farm system and are setting themselves up to have extra picks in the draft as well. And in all of this, the Rays acquired Ben Williamson from the Seattle Mariners. And just real quick, looking at Brendan Donovan's stats in 2025, 287 batting average, 353 on base percentage. That's great on base percentage. 775 OPS. And he made the National League All-Star team last season. All right, I want to close the show out looking at baseballprospectus.com and looking at the PECOTA standings. If you've followed this show for a while, you know that at the beginning of each season, I like to get bent out of shape about projections. PECOTA puts out their standings projections and who they think is going to win each division. So I feel like they usually disrespect the Kansas City Royals and have them underrated. But I don't know. I have to give it to Baseball Prospectus this season because as of February 11th, 2026, they are projecting the Kansas City Royals to win the American League Central with 85 wins ahead of the Detroit Tigers. So, shout out Baseball Prospectus for finally getting it right, I believe. I think you can look at that and go, wow, 85 wins, that's a weak division. And I don't know. I think 85 to 88 wins will win you the American League Central this year. And I like to think that the Royals will be better than that. I think you look at last season and a lot of their issues were injuries and their offseason was not productive at all. They've made quite a bit of changes to their hitting staff, brought in some new names, new faces, and hopefully you're going to have a little bit of a different philosophy in 2026. But the pitching staff speaks for itself when healthy, even when not healthy. It's one of the 5 to 10 best pitching staffs in all of baseball. So get the offense back to even just an average production standpoint and get their runners in scoring position up, get their base running in check. And I think that this is accurate and the Royals are going to be pretty good. They have their core locked up for a long time. Bobby Witt Jr. is here for quite some time. Michael Garcia signed an extension. They just did a deal to avoid arbitration with Vinny Pasquantino. Salvador Perez is still part of the mix. And adding a guy like Isaac Collins that can get on base like nobody else. Plugging in Carter Jensen and hopefully Jack Caglione kind of having a bounce back season and putting up some of the numbers that we've seen him put up in the minors. But yeah, American League Central, Kansas City is projected there, 85 wins, Detroit in second, and then Minnesota, Cleveland, and Chicago. AL East, they have the Yankees above Toronto, and then Baltimore and Boston. AL West, Seattle, which I agree with that. Seattle, then Houston, in Texas. I think Seattle's going to be really good this year. If you followed the show, I've pretty much crapped on Seattle for the last 2.5 years, and I'm finally coming around to what they're cooking up. So I believe in that. NL Central, the Cubs over the Brewers. I have the Cubs over the Brewers by 10 games. Cubs winning 90, Milwaukee winning 80, and poor St. Louis being in last place. No, they're in the middle of a rebuild. I like what they're doing. They'll be back in a couple of years. In the National League East, they have Atlanta having a bounce back season. If you remember, Atlanta kind of got off to a horrendous start in 2025 and really just couldn't get enough momentum to climb back. I like Atlanta over the Mets and over the Phillies. And then in NL West, Dodgers. They have the Dodgers winning 104 games. And then San Diego being in second with 81. Oof. So a 24-game cushion for the Dodgers, according to Baseball Prospectus. And it's pretty much a lock that the Dodgers are winning the division in the NL West. It's just, can a team on the American League stop them in the World Series? Or can one of these National League teams stop them from getting the World Series altogether? Looking at these projections, though, you have Los Angeles winning 104 games, and Seattle is the next closest team with 93-plus wins on the 2026 season projections. But those are the way too early projections. We'll look at those closer to the season and see if they've moved at all. Also, I will do kind of my own predictions as I did last season and see just how wrong I can be in the 2026 season. But I'm excited. Baseball's back. Spring training's here. We're about to have games each and every day. World Baseball Classic, like I said, we'll be focusing on that. We'll be spending a lot of time on that because I think that's the most exciting thing going on right now. Will Japan repeat as WBC champions, or will another team rise up and take the crown this time? I brought this up last episode, but I want to bring it up again. If you are a Royals fan and you're looking for Royals content or a Royals podcast, you just want to be informed about the Kansas City Royals, my brother-in-law and I started a podcast called Everybody Loves Royals that we release episodes every week on YouTube or Spotify, Apple, wherever you like to listen to your podcast. We post shorts and reels throughout the week as well, and our goal is to keep you informed about the Kansas City Royals and to entertain you as well. So if you're like, I want to stay informed about the Royals, I don't know how to find the news, there's too many people to follow, well, we are your one-stop shop for all Kansas City Royals news. So I will leave a link to our YouTube channel and our socials down in the show notes. So go check that out. It is Everybody Loves Royals. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.